Let's make one thing clear. The Z Fold 2 is by far my favorite device, and that's without a doubt. I've said it many times. The capabilities, the form factor, the different ways you can use it really is fitting for what is genuinely a next generation experience in the mobile space. But yeah, as powerful and as near perfect as this device is trying to be, trust me, it's far from it. So let's talk about it. The 5 things I dislike about my Z Fold 2. Let's go. Hi, Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this and you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. Let's start with the overall weight and the build of the phone. With the Z Fold 2, especially when closed in this closed form factor. And the funny thing is, the overall weight distribution of the Fold 2 is really good, especially in the open form factor when using the inner display. But it does overall help it. Overall, it does help the handling of the Fold 2, don't get me wrong, but it still doesn't take away from how heavy the device can feel, especially when closed up. And when you match it with the thickness of it when closed, added with when you add a case on there, it can low-key sometimes feel fatiguing to use it due to the overall weight. Next is the outer cover display. And honestly, this one, props to Samsung, as the outer cover display is probably the biggest improvements that you're going to see from the first gen Fold, moving from a 4.6 inch display to a 6.2 inch near enough all screen design, which makes it so much more usable. But even with the improvement, this 25:9 aspect ratio really does make it feel a bit too narrow and not wide enough, mainly when typing and using a display. And it can definitely feel cramped when you're in the pace of trying to type fast and accurately at the same time. And look, although understandably not much of a big deal for a second gen product of its kind, it would have been nice to also see a 1080p resolution with a 90 or 120 Hz refresh rate to match near enough the experience of the inner display when you're using it. Next is the performance, and why the lack of 16GB of RAM, 512GB of internal storage, and no micro SD card slot at the time of release just made no sense at all, as not having it as part of an option of the Z Fold 2. Now don't get me wrong, the overall performance of the Z Fold 2 is far from lacking. It doesn't skip a beat and it's not looking to slow down anytime soon. But yet, out of all the flagship handsets that Samsung sells, this Fold 2 is the one that pushes the limits when it comes to extreme multitasking in software. Yet the S20 Ultra has 16GB of RAM and the Fold 2 doesn't. Yes, 12GB of RAM is a healthy amount, but when you're in the thick of using and pushing a device, the RAM usage can get slightly and mightily close to that 10GB usage, or slightly over sometimes, which for me is just a bit too close to that 12GB of RAM limit. The Galaxy Fold 1, the first generation, had a 512GB option, and I get they managed to bring the price down ever so slightly on the Fold 2, but yet not having a 512GB option internally at the time, and the lack of a micro SD card slot when phones like, again, the Galaxy S20 Ultra and the Note 20 Ultra had both, felt like a cutback that the device this expensive, it shouldn't be having these kind of cutbacks. Next is the camera hardware, and I stated before in my review, and also my 5 favorite things I love about the Z Fold 2, which I still love it. The experience of using a camera is so fun, flexible, and versatile. Yet at this price, you're not getting the best hardware from Samsung when it comes to the camera that they have in their arsenal. And in fact, this feels more like a mix of the previous Galaxy S10 and S20 hardware mixed together with none of the ultra hardware specs that comes with this ultra price. I get it, there is an element of balance to physical size and the form factor that might have limited what they could do within this form factor, but it would have been nice to still have the best that you could get from Samsung with the price that you're paying here. Last but not the least is the lack of dual SIM card support, proper dual SIM card support. And yes, I will keep bringing this up on all phones that do not have this feature because it's not difficult to implement. Yes, eSIM is there, but I've said it before, eSIM is not the solution. I've stated this, not all carriers and networks support eSIM, so having 2 physical SIM card slot is so much more useful. Other Samsung flagships have dual SIM slot, and for the price of the Fold 2, not to have it, trust me, it's unacceptable in my books. That is it for me. This was a painful one to make because this Z Fold 2 is still one of, if not my favorite device. So That's it, man. Ben from Lover of Tech. If you enjoy videos like this, you know exactly what to do. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you're part of Team TLS, the Tech Lover Squad, so you don't miss any future videos on the channel. I hope you're all safe during this time. I will catch you in the next one. Peace.